Seed of the month this month is a Savannah village with an exposed stronghold. So Seed of the month is a competition where you compete to try run a specific seed as fast as possible. So this stronghold has 10-eye portal and a fortress close in the Nether. It has some interesting challenges to overcome, so let me just run you through what's available in this seed. To start with, we've got some buried treasure at minus 760, 264. Now, the bottom piece is sandstone, so that's a bit cringe. But the treasure does have 3 iron and a full set of chainmail armor. So it is actually possible to skip getting this. However, it may make things a bit easier. The main problem with this seed is that there's only one bed in the village. So you've got to find another source of beds. Don't worry, there's something there for you. There's hay bales for food, and there's also some carrots over here if you want to skip the bed and skip the hay bales as well. Now obviously because it's not a tiger village, you've got to get some woods from somewhere, and because you're going to have to be crafting some beds, you're going to need a little bit more than usual. So depending on your route, you might require more or less wood and have to factor that into your time saves. So here I'm going to be just crafting a bucket and some bread. There is some bread in the stronghold, so that's not too bad from that point of view. And from people who miss the old speedrun seed, there's a nice place to yeet yourself onto the stronghold. Do a bit of an emoji water bucket, and away you go. Now, you're going to have to punch through this, so is there any time to be saved by making a wood pickaxe? Probably not, but who knows. I've taken some torches just so it's easier to see things. I'll just drop them down wherever. So another chest. So in the stronghold you've got 5 more iron and 9 pickaxe. So that's kind of useful. So for the bed solution, there's cobwebs, so you can craft some shears. You don't need to drop a crafting table for that. And yeah, just shear the cobwebs, and they can be turned into string, which can then be turned into wool. And that's where the beds are going to come from. Right, so returning back to where we were. Just past this 5-way here, and down some stairs, there is the chest. Now, if you were to skip the bucket creation, you may be able to use that fountain as a water source, but it just depends on how you want to route it. Okay, so backtracking a bit, and just past this pillar here is the portal room. And don't mind me while I have a bit of a fight with some silverfish. It's worth taking out that spawner because the silverfish can bother you while you're picking some stuff up from some nearby chests. Right, and it's a 10-eye portal, so that's all fine. So we've only got 1 pearl so far. So let me show you where the others are. Right around the corner, nice and easy to access, and again some more iron. So there's multiple options for how to use that iron, and it would probably largely depend on how you want to one-cycle the dragon as to what you use it for. You may need multiple buckets. Right, and there's another pearl and some boots down there. So one of the really interesting bits about the seed is the decision of what to use the pearl for. And I'll show you some of the options as we go through. So I'm sort of doing this as segmented, where I rerun different sections using different strategies, and just to show you what's available and some ideas about how the seed could be run. Yeah, so as you can see, crafting the beds. Now the fishing rod is my solution for fret bug, but you could use the pearl. Equally, you could also RNG some arrows and from a skeleton and craft a bow instead. If you're new to creating nether portals out of lava and water, little tip here is target the top of those blocks because the lava can get lost in the iron bars. Now the reason I've moved the water to the side is so I can retain it. One of the possible options, depending on how you want to deal with your iron and your buckets and things like that, is potentially waterlogging a stair or a slab to do the one cycle with. Now the Nether gets pretty interesting. There's several different options about how to run it. One of which is you can just save your pearl for using in the end and run along here and just stack up to it. And yep, that works reasonably well. I'm not really skilled enough to pull that off. I gave it a few attempts and every time weird things happen, but to give you a general idea, yeah, you just get over there, stack it up. You might speed bridge across or something, I don't know, run it however you want. And so yeah, there'll be some blazes up there by the time you get up there, I would imagine. And yep, and other stuff as well. Option 2 is to use the pearl to get onto the stronghold. So that means you won't have it in the end, but you can absolutely use the pearl to get up there. It's quite quick. Blazes spawn relatively quickly usually, and so you can get your blaze rod there. Or like me, just get pushed off and die. The third option, if you're not so much of a skilled runner, such as myself, is you can actually walk around that lava and go to the other side of the fortress bridge. And this is what I'm doing here, and I found this was basically the easiest way to deal with it if you're not very good with the combat. So yeah, as you can see here, you just run around. One of the advantages here is you can literally run under that bridge and get yourself some cover, because the gas can be a bit of a problem. So yeah, so what I'm doing here is basically just going to carve out a piece on the side to allow the blazes to come down, and so they'll come to me now, and that just means you don't have to worry about the wither skeletons and things like that. I ended up having a bit of a fight on the return path, so I've cut a chunk out here. Anyway, so yeah, you just head back to the portal the way you came, and that's another option for if you're maybe a less experienced runner like myself. I have no idea why I'm on fire. Right, so obviously, yeah, prepping up for the end. You might delay some of your crafting till here, especially if you left a crafting table there. And that way you might choose whether you use a fishing rod or a bow based off whether you got an arrow drop or something like that. Right, so in the end here, I'm just going to show using the pearl to pearl in. Now, I can't one cycle, so what I'm going to show you is something that Sprinks led me onto, which is it's a multi-cycle. So basically, you activate the crit bug, and you can see here it's actually it's a bit tricky to do it with a fishing rod sometimes. I think the more you do it, the more you'll get a knack for where you have to hit it. Here it seems to have engaged. So yeah, you can hit the dragon up to 10 times if you don't crit. So if you're not experienced like me and have trouble counting which ones actually critted and which ones you got the timing wrong on, just hitting it 10 times without jumping is often an easier way to have a more consistent run. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And then, yeah, you just dig a piece out, chuck a bed there, just blow it up. Dragon's going to fly away, but that's okay. It's just going to heal up a bit, and eventually it'll come back, and it's usually pretty quick. As you can see here, it's actually back already. And so it's as simple as doing the same thing again. Just hit it 10 times. Don't miss it like I just did then. And once its health's down low enough, yeah, same again. Drop in, boom. So yeah, that's the dragon sort of taken care of. Now, in terms of submitting your runs, I've set up a Google form. The link is in the description, and so you just put in the Google form, and we'll do the leaderboard on a spreadsheet for now. And if this is popular, I'll create a website later.